What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a live show the day after a disaster, I'm gonna say. The day after we got beaten by a relegation side at home, picking up 1 point in our last 3 games. 1 point at home against two relegation sides. And yeah, man, just probably what a lot of people were kind of expecting, but not sure when it was gonna happen. But with me today is Norbert to discuss the game. First off, excuse me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you? Are you okay after
Um,
this game?
no, I'm actually I'm I'm really pissed. And actually not even about the game, but what transpired after the game. Media,
Yeah,
just opinions and narratives being out there, and just the standards of the club being dragged through the mud, and false narratives being put out there to claim that people who like have criticism are not entitled to have that opinion, because
yeah.
yesterday the narrative was we were never going to win the title. um, I still need to meet the person who said we were going to win the title at the start of the season. I never met that person. So that's the narrative out there. That's what Allegri said out there. But we will talk about all of that because we have quite a lot to go through. But first off, the game, we lost obviously. So in a nutshell, what do you made of that, performance?
It's hard to say anything really. First of all, starting Sandro, uh, there is no game where he plays, or rather starts, where he doesn't make a mistake. And usually these mistakes are big, and he did it again. Um, Other than that, I was happy to see that Kostic is not playing at all. I think he should not play. But it's insane to me. We said this will happen, so it was like I almost I almost was like, okay, I'm waiting for this to see what's happening. And this time there was no Vlahovic at the last minute. There was nothing was created. Ealing Junior came into the right side, and then he didn't do one cross, not even one cross. And on the left it was Chiesa on Yildiz. So it was a mess, tactically, game management, everything. The players, Rabiot, please don't resign him, because he's just not at US standards. And we could go all day telling what went wrong. No tactical, awareness, nothing. It was really bad.
It was. It was really bad. But I think the shock was more so that you lose against really poor sides, and the way you lose against poor sides. I think rather um, than actually how the game went. And look, we will talk about the subs. But in general, um, when I saw the lineup, I said, "There's no way you're starting Milik. Like that's actually unacceptable." And the first thing that people throw at you is like, "Oh, but Chiesa and Yildiz cannot play together. You need to have a target man." Who said so? Have we seen that?
Yeah,
Like, is there proof that they cannot play together? Is there any proof? That's one. And that goes into the Rabiot Miretti debate. If Rabiot is out and he plays Miretti there, it doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, no, you know what? It's not gonna work, So maybe it doesn't work. It doesn't work, Chiesa and Yildiz. And people say, oh, look at the last 20 minutes, it didn't work. Well, I don't want to do that because it was pretty obvious why it wasn't working. Like everybody has eyes, That's why you just look at it and you like the minute Yildiz stepped on that pitch, like 2 minutes in that sub, and you're like, yeah, that's not gonna work with Chiesa the way he's set up there. So there are all narratives out there saying, but like not narratives, it's just make believe scenarios. It's like, oh, they cannot play together. You need to play Milik. We do not need to do, you know what. Milik is poor, you know. Remember when I think you were on that show and Vlahovic was going through a bad patch and I was like, people play Milik, he's better. I'm like, that's rubbish. It's absolutely rubbish. Vlahovic was not performing. Milik is not a good player. Like he's not. Like he's just not. He will get you if you give him limited amount of minutes, he will look good. But if you give him full 90 minutes, he
Yeah.
will look like that because he's not that good. So if you limit his playing time and you will get his goal here and there, you will appreciate Milik more. But if you need to watch him 90 minutes, it's rubbish. Like it's just
Yeah,
rubbish.
he's a sub.
I don't know how to put it
Yeah,
in words.
he's a sub, and honestly, I think playing like Yildiz as a number 10 up front, and then the Chiesa like behind him or next to him or whatever. I think we don't know. We just don't know what would have happened. But Milik is just not good. He's good when I don't know he comes in and then there are some crosses, but there were no players on the field who likes to cross the ball. Maybe McKennie, but on the left side, Chiesa and then Yildiz, they were stepping on each other's toe, and then they were just they were not crossing the ball. So Milik he did nothing.
And besides Milik, like the Alexandro thing, it's like I'm gonna say it's disgusting. What's gonna like I'm sorry, it's disgusting. Like Rugani, like and people know what I think about Rugani. People know what I said preseason about Rugani. And if we had money, I would let go of Rugani as well at the end of the season. Like I would. I would let go of a lot of players, but I know the situation. Rugani in that how many game stretch was it? 6? Maybe I'm lying. You know, he was excellent. He was so
Yeah,
good. Danilo comes back. He gets back in the team. I don't agree, but I get the thought process behind it. He's your captain. It's just gonna happen. You know, Alexandro comes back from injury. We don't see Rugani at all, and for me, that's just disgusting. Ruga-
yeah,
Alexandro is not gonna be here at the club. He's not gonna be here. He's just gone. You're trying to re-sign Rugani. His agent came out a couple of hours ago saying that's the plan, you know, and it's actually gonna be multiple years because they want to spread the wages. We will debate that at other time. Alexandro's not gonna be here. On top of that, he's crap. Like I don't care what people say. Oh, you disrespect. I made a video on Alexandro, and I said what I had to say on Alexandro. I don't hate a player. I don't hate any players in the squad. By the way, I do not rate certain players. I do not. I don't hate players. Alexandro is a Finnish player, and he has been for a couple of years. He has a fan base, which is even the messed up part. Like that's the messed up part. That people are actually um, how do you want to say that? Like they're still defending Alexandro. He's rubbish. Like he's absolutely rubbish. He shouldn't be playing in that position. If Rugani played, would we have won that game? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think we would have won that game. You know, we probably wouldn't have lost it. You know, but I don't think we would have won that game. You know, it's not that play Rugani we would have won that game. But that's not the point. The point is decisions are being made at this club at this moment in time are unacceptable. And Kostic, everybody like, oh, Kostic didn't play, and Kostic didn't play because he gave him a rest. And people throwing the stats. Oh, if you play Kostic, we generate 0.4 more points a game. I'm like, stop it. Like, absolutely stop the crap. The last 3 games is just build up from what we have seen, but we got away with a lot of stuff. We're not getting away with
yeah,
it now. That's just what's happening. If Kostic wasn't on that pitch, we would have not won that game. I don't know. You don't know for a fact. But if we go back in time, and I know we would have lost that game, and somebody's told me you need to put all your possession on, we are not going to win that game, but Kostic is going to start, I will be happily to put that money on there. We're not, like, Kostic was not going to change that game, by the way. Like, that was not going to
yeah,
happen. So the decisions being made, like the Yildiz one, again, like he benches Yildiz, Milik picks up a red card. The messed up part of, like, the ironic thing is, you suspend it, Vlahovic gets injured, you have another chance to play Yildiz, you bring Milik again, and he stinks out the place one more time. I'm like,
yeah.
this came full circle. Like you didn't learn. Like you're being stubborn now. Like you're just being stubborn and you don't want to give in to what's not working. And that's on you. That's on him. Like he makes certain
Yeah,
decisions that goes behind beyond players.
yeah. So, for example, before I destroy my house, so um, Sandro, uh, I don't like disgusting in a way that what else Rugani should have done to earn this. You know that he's like the fourth in the defense. He played really good on those games. He played really good last year as well. Like what else? And yeah, tactically, and this was a game again when they matched our formation and we played bad. This is a returning thing
Yeah.
that Allegri doesn't understand that 3-5-2 versus 3-5-2, the way we play just doesn't work, and he doesn't understand. I don't. It's so clear to see these things what he's doing.
You know what after the game, I actually is that it was the last thing he said in his interview. I actually was about to turn it off because I had enough. Like I absolutely had enough yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna turn it off. And then the last question got asked, and he was like, the question was something in terms of like, but were you actually happy what you saw tonight? And he's like, yeah, like we had enough chances in the first half. We just should have finished it off. And I'm like,
Sure.
the one chance, the real one chance was the Milik header, and that was a poor header.
Yeah.
The tap in wasn't easy. Like that was a rocket, from I think Chiesa. It wasn't easy to tap it in. Like it wasn't easy.
I think Cambiasso.
Oh, it was a Cambiaso.
But
It
yeah.
wasn't easy. Like I
Yeah.
agree with that. It wasn't easy. So that's that. He thinks we play well. Like he thinks we played well yesterday, and he means that. People are like, oh, he's no, he means that. Like he absolutely means that. And what frustrated me the most is the way he wrapped it up. Every time if we win games and everything is going well, I did not hear a beep about this is a very young team, unexperienced. We're never gonna win the title. When he said that, even though I agree that we were not supposed to win the title, and that I don't think anyone said that at the start of the season, I thought when he said that, I was like, this team, like the spirit of this team is the DNA is kind of going away now. It's going away because the way he said that, and I was like, really? That's what you're gonna say today? We have a young squad. When you have when you have Rabiot stinking out the place one more time, he was horrible. Again, he offers nothing in possession. He stays on for 90 minutes when you need pace in that game late. You keep in McKennie and Rabiot, and somebody still needs to explain to me why that's possible. No word on Alexandro, nothing. But we lose the game. It's the youngsters. It's the unexperienced. I'm like, shut up, like stop. Like I was actually pissed when he said that, and I already recorded my video. Otherwise, it would have been in a completely different type of video, and probably would have. I needed to take it down because I would have been flagged for a couple of times in that video. When he said that, I was like, when are you gonna come out and say, you know what, players I trust are not really repaying me. Certain players need to give more. It's fair. Like it's not. I don't. He doesn't need to come out and say, you know what, Rabiot wasn't good. Alexandro wasn't good. You know, he did that with Yildiz, saying, hey, he wasn't good at Lecce. Not needed because he wasn't bad at Lecce. So I'm not even expecting him to come out and say, man, Alexandro, that wasn't good. Rabiot, I expect more from these players. The first thing he says, we have a young team. We have like a lot of youngsters, average age 27 yesterday. And even if like it doesn't matter, you play a very bad side. Giuntoli pre-game, Allegri post-game. They're a good team. They deserve more. They were horrible. Like, have you watched them play yesterday? We were poor. They topped that. They were awful. And we were bad, by the
Yeah.
way,
So
and they were still bad. Really bad. So
yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I know what he's going to say into the Verona game. Oh, they're a tricky team. They're, again, a rubbish side. They're not a good side. I know what's going to happen, but he keeps doing that. And the thing, I was like, you know what? I'm going to bed early. I will read Tutto Sport in the morning. I saw the front page of Tutto Sport. I was like, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. Somehow, I don't know how, and Chiesa didn't play well yesterday. Like the output, like it was too much, but we will get into that. But the first thing on the page was Chiesa's not repaying the trust. And I was like, that's your takeaway? Because there was no talk about Chiesa and Tuttosport all season long. But that's what that's the narrative that's now going to be pushed. We need a new scapegoat, and it's not going to be the coach. It's going to be the players. No matter what, 3 years now, somebody in the chat tell me which attacking player had a consistent full season. Let me know. And don't come to me, oh, Chiesa has been injured. He was bad when Allegri joined the couple of months before that injury. So in the chat, let me know which attacking player has been good for a full season ever since Allegri came back. But you go now.
Yeah, so I have so much to say about this narrative that is being pushed by certain people and Allegri as well. As you said, the last game. So this game's average age was 27.7 or 28.
Yeah.
And apparently, we need multiple champions, world champions, in a team to beat Udinese.
Ronaldo.
We have or Ronaldo, yeah. We need we need an experienced not squad. This for example, this starting 11 was experienced, and overall as well. Usually, who plays are experienced. It's not like we are playing with 19-year-olds or whatever. These are all vets. Come on, Locatelli. What is he? Come on, Euros. He won the Euros. He's multiple seasons in the Serie A. What are we talking about? And this other thing that we need champions or leaders, like several multiple leaders. Come on, like it's Udinese and Empoli we're talking about, not like Champions League.
You're right.
I
Like
don't
if you
get it.
go through the lineup, like the typical lineup, Chesney is experienced. Bremer, Serie A defender of like he is experienced. Gatti,
Yeah.
get it. Danilo, people like to praise him so much. Won the Champions League, so experienced. Kostic won the Europa League, like experience. Locatelli won the Euros. Rabiot, experience. Like who is he? Like
Fino, yeah.
I'm not sure who is he talking about. Cambiasso when he plays, fine. Vlahovic, I think he's experienced. He's not a youngster. He's experienced.
Yeah.
He still needs to improve, but he's not. He's not a youngster.
I I really don't understand.
So who
And
is he talking about in general? Like I think he plays Yildiz like 65 minutes, and he's like, oh my god, I'm playing with babies. I think he looks at that. Like, I think he looks like that. He looks at that team. He's like, I'm playing kids. Chiesa, experience. So I'm not sure who is it. Like the squad is relatively young. I agree with that, but that's also because the previous years it was prehistoric. Like like
yeah,
that's what I think he's shell shocked. He's like,
it's
oh
mainly the
my god, what
subs. It's and
changed?
mainly the subs.
It's also
The
the
subs that
subs.
are not
I agree with
experienced.
that. Like
Yeah.
and
But the
it,
squad, but the starting 11 usually is experienced.
he's doing too much. Like he's doing too much. If he needed to play Miretti and Fagioli and Sule and Cambiasso every single week
Yeah.
and Hildes, I will come out and say, you know what, that's very young, that's very inexperienced. But he's not doing that. And that's the narrative out there. Even with the youngsters, Hildes only played because everybody got injured. Fagioli, same thing
Yeah.
last season. You know? It's he wants certain players. And when he came out and he said that and said, so you cannot expect him to win. I'm like, when he said that, I'm like, you should leave. You should walk because this job is not for you. Because next season, Sule is coming back. Like I'm not saying they're staying, but Sule is coming back. But Inchea's coming back from loan. Kayo's coming back. Huijsen is coming back. You're gonna lose Alexandro. You're probably gonna move on Kostic because you tried to do that this summer or the previous summer. I'm pretty sure Rabiot is gonna walk as well. The team is getting younger. You're linked with quote miners, Samarcic, like you're linked with younger quote unquote players. So you're not the right man for the job unless John
Yeah.
Alcon is like, I'm okay. I'm willing to be the Arsenal under Arsene Wenger of the last 10 years, whatever. Finish top four, take the money and whatever. Then hey, he's perfectly fit for that job. He will get you in top four every single season. But if the idea is we're gonna go younger, but we're also gonna go improve and actually win, compete, improve these players, then he's not right. Because when he comes out and he says that publicly, that you cannot expect me to win, basically, with this type of team young. And then he said, you know, when I was winning, I had a very good experienced squad. I'm like, okay, then you're not the right man for the job. Like you're just not. You just admitted it. You're not, because that's the direction the club's gonna go in. Unless next summer or this summer we're signing Bonaventura and those type of players. Then I'm like, yeah, whatever, keep him because that's the direction you want to go. I get that. That's the standard now. But if what we have been told about signing younger players, sell on value, he admitted yesterday he's not the right man for the job. And when he said that, even if Juntli had a slight doubt about keeping him, you know, he should have sat there and be like, oh, this is not good. This is absolutely not good. And I saw the reports about John Elkann wants to keep him and blah, blah, blah. They're conflicting reports because John Elkann gave the keys to Juntuli and basically said, you
Yeah.
take care of it. Get it back on track. I don't know his wage, but I think I think Allegri's a level-headed guy. I think if they sit down and they're like, this is the direction, I don't think Allegri's going to be like, I think they will find some sort of agreement. But he needs to get told. Because
Yeah,
it's
maybe
it's
they give him a
walking, really quickly, it's walking or it's 2 or 3 year extension, by the way. It's not 1
yeah,
year
yeah,
extension. And you're just going to
yeah.
move the problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure where did I hear, but I agree with that. That maybe they give him like a shadow position or whatever. That he just gonna help out with the transition between the next gen and the first team squad or something until his contract is over and we're gonna actually get a coach. But at this point, like, come on, as long as it's not Conte, I'm fine with anyone.
Yeah, like I want a
And we need the
coach.
change.
Yeah, like I've said it. I wanted to change at the start of the summer. Like I never changed my opinion on it. And people in the chat let me know the improvement or like the base you see. Do you think it's sustainable to build on and have a successful future? Because I think people look at points rather than at performances, if that makes sense. And they see
Yeah,
the points and they're
yeah,
like, it's improvement. And I'm like,
yeah.
okay, but
We're gonna have 90 points. Yay!
Milan are having more points than previous seasons, and I still need to find one Milan fan. And I know a lot of Milan fans who are like, keep Pioli. They're like, there's no improvement. It's getting worse. Forget about the points. It's getting worse. And I bring it up. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with Manu got the point. Got them second. They finished 20 points off Man City, and Manu fans were like, this
Yeah,
is not good. Like this is just not good. Forget about the league position. That has a lot to do with the league rather than us. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm
yeah,
looking at it. I'm like, and I'm not gonna lie, I've watched us play in Serie B. I literally I was young. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was 12 years old, 12, 13. I've watched the games. I remember that Rimini game. I remember the first game, 1-1. I've watched that game. We play better football. We did. We came back and we played better. Like it was more enjoyable to watch. Oh, we didn't get top four. We finished 7. Yeah, because that team was absolutely garbage. Like that was a
yeah,
garbage team. Like that was from top to bottom. That was trash. That was really bad. That's not you cannot compare it to this team. However, leading up 2006, 7, 8, we played better football. Oh, we had Del Piero.
yeah.
Oh, good. We had Nedved. Fine. Did you see the rest of the squad we had? I think people forget that. Or you know what it is, and I got told, oh, you're spoiled. You only watch Juve ever since they start winning. Excuse me. That's a complete lie. But whatever. Even if you think that that's a fact, even if you think that's true, good. I'm gonna flip it. I think you are like that, and you've seen us win for 9 seasons and never before, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's good. Let's chill. Like, oh, it's okay to have a couple of off years. I really have a feeling people think that's acceptable, having a couple of off seasons. I'm not expecting us to
Yeah.
win every season, but when I see from where we come and where we are now, there is an issue. There just isn't. There is an issue. Lack of quality. Yeah, I agree. But which player has improved? Like, which player has improved? And don't come at me with Danilo and all that crap. Like, I'm sorry. Because these are players that shouldn't be at the club, in a couple of seasons. Maybe even next season. So I don't want players who already are at their max peak to quote unquote improve. Because improvement is so, how do you want to say, like, so little that it's just not going to affect us long term. We need to see Chiesa, Vlahovic. We need to see these players firing. They're not firing. Remember
Yeah.
in October you were on, and somebody in the chat said we were talking about Chiesa. Somebody in the chat said you're hating. He's having a good season, 6 GA, and I'm like, he's not having a good season. He's just not having a good. And fast forward a couple of months, and guess what? 7 GA. He added one, maybe two. I don't know. He's not having a
Yeah.
great season. And I'm not putting all the blame on Allegri,
Yeah.
by the way. However,
No.
the proof is out there. No attacker does well ever since he come back
Yeah.
consistently.
Yeah, there is no way that these players play really good in the national team and then when they come back they are horrible. Yeah, like it's not the players. I would say like 80% on Allegri in my mind. Like, okay, some is on the players, but not a crazy amount. And I wanted to tell you something. So I have a memory of '96. I was already a Juventus fan for like 2 years, I think, and it was the '96 the Champions League final. No, sorry, the '97 Champions League final, and maybe '98 against Real Madrid. '98, yeah. And I deleted my Asterix and Obelix VHS to record the game, and for me the Champions League, the music, the whole feeling of Champions League is about everything. And I'm sorry, with Allegri we will have no chance, and he already showed us when we lost against Maccabi Haifa and all that jazz. So um he's the past.
One
That's what I'm
like
saying.
one of the games I can really remember was the final against Milan. I was like, that was I cannot recall games before that, to be honest. Like I was 8
Hmm.
when we played Milan. I think 2003, right? So I was 8.
Yeah.
I remember that final from start to finish. I watched the pens. I know I went to bed and I was devastated. I was 8 years old. That was the first memory I can recall the game, watching like moment for moment. I can remember it lively. You know, that's the standard. Even though we lost, that's the standard. Now, I agree, it doesn't go overnight. We cannot go from what we have now to that. I fully agree with that. Like, I'm not crazy, whatever. But I will not sit here and praise mediocrity. I'm not going to sit here and
Yeah.
listen to Allegri come out and say, we're on track for our goal, top 4. I'm like, stop the bullshit. Like, the goal is like, finish top 4 is default. Like, it's just I don't want to hear that every single week. Pre-game, post-game, during the game, from commentators. I don't want to hear that. It's default. Like, you're just gonna finish in top. Have you seen the state of the league? We finished top 4 and we got deducted points. Like, it's just gonna happen. And people, like, even yesterday, the season is not over. Top 4 is not wrapped up. We're 14 points ahead. If you think the season is not over, it's because you're still worried we're gonna mess a 14-point lead. That's the only reason
Yeah.
why you still. And that needs to tell you a lot. That needs to tell you a lot. Because if you mess up a 14-point lead, that's unheard of. You know.
Yeah.
But that's the
And
standard.
also,
2003. That's where we need to go back to. So I'm not going to sit here and praise Rabiot for scoring a couple of tap-ins. I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to do that. I have eyes. Those are not the players that are going to take us to the next level. They're just not. And especially not with the way we play. It's just not going to happen. Ever. And a decision needs to be
yeah.
made really quickly. A decision should have been made last summer. So you give a coach time to play once a week. Play once a week.
Yeah.
You have time. You have that. You're gonna finish top 4. Pirlo finished top 4. Yeah, you're gonna finish top 4. The team is good enough to just finish top 4. So we should have made it that decision, and that's my big worry now. Because if you bring in the next guy, and if it's not an experienced player, the pressure, not from me, by the way, but from the media, Tuttosport, for example, is gonna be so insane and so unfair that it could potentially be a problem. However, if you bring in the guy, I have names in mind, but I'm not going to name it until the end of the season because it's pointless to talk about that. Because if next week we see Allegri signs a new deal, I'm not going to talk about coaches. I'm not going to put my energy in it to make videos and
Yeah.
discuss it because it's pointless, you know. But the decision, should have been made last summer, And we didn't do that. And now you're in a very, I don't know, weird position, I guess.
Yeah. So you know how fast the standards dropped, because we fired Allegri because he was not good enough to make, I don't know, not to make the best eight in the Champions League or whatever. And we did the same with Sarri as well. Um, and for us, qualifying from the group should be automatic. It should be like, our goal should be always to be like the top eight in the Champions League or semifinal or whatever. And like, come on, this squad can easily qualify from the group stage of the Champions League. Although next year it's not going to be a group stage; it's going to be something crazy. But I just wanted to say how the standards dropped. How now we are, I don't know, top four and whatever, and maybe a Europa Liga next year or something. I don't know. Like, come on.
I It is. People do like the video. Thanks for joining, by the way. Um, the standards after, and again, people will twist it and they will say, "Oh, you think you're gonna win the title?" No. Well, people who watch this channel 100% know I did not say that. Like, I did not say that. Like, especially my podcast with Alberto, he was like 70 or 80%. I was like 30, 35. Maybe if we went away to Inter, I will bump it up to 50. Like, and that was just being very optimistic, I guess. But like, I'm not an idiot. I know that Inter are a better team. So that is that. When I talk about standards, it has nothing to do with winning the title. It has to do with mindset and players. You know, players that they're being praised for doing the bare minimum. The bare Yesterday post game, I don't know how, because I did my video and whatever, and I was like, okay, let's check my notifications on Twitter, and I saw about like 20 tweets about Timothy Weah, and I'm like, did I miss something today? Not saying Weah was good, but how is he a trending topic? Like, what did I miss from that game? How is he becoming like? Was he like? He's not. He's not a wingback. Like,
Yeah.
he's just not. I think that's pretty obvious now, right? Or like, is it just me? Like, he's not. So he wasn't good. Like, he wasn't good. I get that, and I don't think we signed way out. I don't think anyone was like, oh my god, world class. I expect so many things. No, like, no. He was very cheap signing, cheap wage, whatever. Like, it's just what it is, you know. So post game, I saw that being him being the target, even in Tutto Sport today, and I was like, hold on for a minute here, because I'll bring it back. And like, people think I have an agenda. How many times did I say, when we talk about Rabiot and his contract, I'm like, this is madness. Juve FC, are waiting on Rabiot's answer at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Rabiot, by the way, not Ronaldo, not Del Piero, not Nedved, not Pogba, not Pirlo, not Vidal in their prime. Rabiot. I was like, if Giuntoli is serious and you wanted to keep Rabiot, you're like, we want your decision now. If it's a no, goodbye. Just walk. Because he's not that guy. He scored goals last
Yeah.
season. I
No.
get that. But the goals dried up,
Yeah.
and what now? Like, you look at it, and I mean,
Yeah.
like, you're just pointless. I'm sorry, you're pointless. If a team sits deep, you're absolutely useless. You're useless. And that doesn't command 8 million euros. It doesn't command 7, 6, 5. It absolutely does not. That's my biggest issue. Post game, the talk is about Weah and all the wrong pieces. It's like Inter. Vlahovic touch. I'm like, man, that is what you take away of that game. That's a topic. Vlahovic's touch. Like, all players do not have a bad touch at once in a while. Excuse me, in key moments. I watched City tonight. Haaland on the edge of the box. If he, like, I don't know which minute it was, he kind of miscontrolled it. Otherwise, he would just have a clean strike on goal. And he was like, for whatever. Next chance, it will come. But that's what we do now. Like the main thing just get brushed aside, and I'm like, okay, Timothy Weah is a topic. After what we saw, Timothy Weah is a topic. I'm like, okay, good. Whatever. I guess that's okay. That's what we do now. Deflection is insane. We're talking about 3 years, and again, Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know. Somehow we lose against Udinese, and Cristiano Ronaldo is a topic. You know how embarrassing that is. Like you actually, if Inter were going through this situation, or Milan, and I were a Juve fan, and I see them talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, or like, I don't know, name it, like Ibrahimovic, whatever. Oh, if we had Ibrahimovic and they're playing a relegation side, I would absolutely love it. I'm like, man, you guys are in the mud.
Yeah.
People do not understand what they do. How is Ronaldo a topic? Like, one time we had Ronaldo, now we needed to bring on Cherry. No, you didn't. You absolutely did not. You should have had enough to beat Udinese without bringing in a random kid.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem. And the subs, we will talk about the subs because somebody asked about that. Um, I texted Julian and I was like, maybe do you know a game where Allegri made worse subs than yesterday evening? Because I went over the subs today again and I'm like, I'm not sure what the idea was. Like, I'm not, like, when I saw the names, I had no idea. I've watched it and I had absolutely no idea. He starts the first half with a 4-3-3. You have players to play 4-3-3, but you don't do that. I'm like, okay, fine. Then you bring in pieces. You bring in Yildiz, and I don't know, he's just bumping into KS all over again. I'm like, okay, fine. Then you bring in Illich Jr., you play him on the right. Can't cross. So not sure what that was about. Like I was so confused. I was like, good. You sign Alcaraz, excuse me. Doesn't get a sniff. Doesn't get a sniff. So I was looking at that. I was like, what are we really trying to do here? Because it looked. I remember I said that post Genoa game. I'm like, we do not have a plan B. I made a video. I'm like, what is the plan B? I know we don't have a plan A, but plan B is total chaos and prayers. It is that. Because maybe what was the idea with the subs. Because I had absolutely no idea what the idea was. It looked all over the place. It really did.
Yeah, so with Yildiz, I guess he just wanted to bring him on because he can actually play football, but not the way he did. I think a better idea would have been to just sub Milik and bring in Yildiz, probably. And when Hans, so I saw Alcaraz at halftime already with shorts. So not the long sweat shorts, but the actual shorts. And I thought, okay, maybe after the first 15 minutes or even before, he will come in. And I saw him like he was really like warming up, and then Hans, and even Hans when 75th minute or something. So even that was like super late. And poor Ealing Junior, like poor dude. I don't understand. Uh, why on the right? Why Chiesa could have easily play on the right, in my opinion, and then Yildiz on his natural. But then Yildiz is still there on the left. It was a
Yeah.
complete chaos. I don't understand. I really don't.
Yeah, there was no plan behind it. I think it was like he was trying to prove a point and say, "Hey, this is what I have,"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Okay,
yeah,
you know, that's
yeah.
that's just on you." And I'm not saying Rabiot looks good because the rest of the midfield is just terrible, toothless and talentless, toothless. I think you're going out on a limb saying he looks good. Like, he looked good because he was scoring goals last season.
Hot take.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't look good. I don't know what good, like, not saying you are saying he's good, by the way. He's not saying that. Uh, he, I don't know. Like, I watched Rabiot at PSG. I liked him at PSG. I really did. When he came in, I was like, man, that's a very good signing. I'll take that
Yeah,
because he looked more. He looked like a more technical player at PSG. He did.
yeah,
He looks like a robot doing the most basic stuff and gets the most praise out of it. We don't lose with him in the squad. Well, that's a lie now, right? Is it? One of those rubbish stats out there. Like we pick up
yeah. They're all
zero
gone.
point 0.4 points more with Kostic. I'm like, good, you know, I guess, whatever, you know. Like all these things, just use your eye test. Oh, but you like Miretti and he's not good. Good, loan him out. Like I'm not gonna cry
Yeah,
if you loan out Miretti. You think I'm gonna cry about that? I want to win. I want to win. If you bring me someone better, fine, I'll take it. Like I'm not gonna get pissed about that. No, if somebody comes in and you're like, man, you can get Mbappe, but you need to sell Chiesa. Goodbye, Chiesa. It's as
yeah,
simple as that. If we can improve, I'm okay with anything. Like I don't have a commitment to these players. I don't. Like I don't quote unquote love like a player, but I'm like, oh my, please do not leave. If you can tell me we can improve, I will move on any player. It is what it is. Like this is straight business. I want to win stuff. I want to win stuff. People are
yeah.
too. How do you want to say that? Too emotional with players who don't deserve that. And well,
Yeah.
Rabiot was
So
like, Rabiot had one good season, 1.5 maybe. I forget the 3 rubbish years before that. I'm like, okay, if you go to work and you do nothing for 3 weeks, and then the last week you do literally nothing. You just go out there, watch movies, Netflix on your phone, and the last week, and you have a 1 month contract, the first month, and the last week you start working, you get sacked. You get sacked. Like your
yeah,
boss not going to tell you. Forget about the 3 weeks before you were watching just Netflix. You worked for 1 week. Here you go, full time job. It's just not going to happen. But here, 3 years of absolutely doing nothing, scoring goals, and yeah, give him 8 million euros. All these things, and I don't want to pick on Rabiot, but he's in this situation where he
no,
can get a new deal. But like, that's just what
yeah,
it is now.
but I want to talk about him a little bit. So this year as well, he had what, 5 good games, and then he's the savior or something out of 20. And also, if he signs a new deal, it not gonna be the same. It's going because of the old law, whatever. It's
Actually,
going to be a lot, no,
I
a
heard
lot
some
more.
rumors that it's probably gonna come back in the summer. That they
Okay.
convinced like the government to like this is overkill, and they're gonna change a couple of other rules that they can add more foreign players and stuff like that.
Yeah, but still, like 8 mil for this,
No, it's
like
crazy. It's
for
it's it's, it's insane. But when
crazy.
you say that, oh,
Yeah.
Vlahovic is
So
on 8 or a 12, I'm like, hey, mistake. But he has a contract. We cannot do anything about that unless he's like, okay,
yeah,
I will give up my wage. But that's the situation. Same for Chesney. He has a contract. You
I
need
would
to
not
like
give up my wage.
no, nobody would.
I
Like
would not
that's
give up my
absolutely.
wage.
Remember
Yeah.
Ramsey? And people were like, "Oh my god, give up your wage."
Yeah.
Why? Like why?
Yeah.
We gave him the money. You're
No
gonna
one would
take
do
that.
that.
Nobody's gonna do that. Like don't be hypocrites. Like don't
Yeah.
be a hypocrite. If your boss comes in tomorrow and he offers you twice, and you know I don't deserve that, you're gonna sign it. You're gonna take that money.
Yeah.
Like let's
Yeah.
not kid ourselves. So let's not do that. Um, what do you think would be a good replacement for Allegri? Again, I'm not gonna talk about that. I need to be sure that it's over before I'm getting invested in that because it's
Xabi
pointless.
Alonso.
Yeah, like
Hot take.
yeah, like I'm not gonna invest time in or like debate. I want Thiago Motta. I don't know, name Conte, Zidane, name the names out there. When Giuntoli saying we're playing the future with Allegri, he might be lying, but I need to be sure before I actually get
Yeah.
invested in it and be disappointed because a change is needed in my opinion. Yes, quality needs to be added, but the idea, the way we play, just the mindset. I'm like, remember I did a video last week on De Rossi's mindset and Allegri's mindset, and after the game, the comments were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he lost." I'm like, so did we.
How? But
We
how did he
lost.
lose?
They lost because they just ran out of energy and they don't have a very good squad overall. That's why they lost. But he gave them a chance. We had no chance.
Yeah.
We went into the Meazza. We had absolutely no chance from minute one. It was very clear. I think 5 minutes in that game, I think if everybody was honest, they knew deep down inside we're gonna lose. Like we're just gonna lose today. We had absolutely no chance. He gave them a chance, even though they shouldn't have any chance because they're not a good squad. It was just the mindset. The mindset. And in the second half, they run out of lags. And actually, if Lukaku was somehow a player still, they would have got back into it because he had two golden opportunities and he messed that up.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
I've seen
so
those.
that's what I mean. Mindset. If you're not good enough, I can accept that, but just do not go into a team away from home. Just lay down and wait for them to kill you off.
Yeah,
Because we're going to Verona on Saturday. We're going to stink it out. And I usually don't predict losses. I might not, but we're not going to win against Verona. I'm pretty convinced we're not going to win
1-1 or
against Verona.
something.
We're not going to win. Like this, we're not going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. The players are good enough. I'm sorry. The players are good enough to be better. Like, I don't. I can't accept that these players cannot beat Empoli and Udinese. Even Empoli, even with 10 men. I don't care.
No, like you drop points against two relegation sides.
Yeah.
That's what they are. It's
And
like
like, come on. Even if you say the players are, I don't know, 20, 25 in a squad. You can't change all of the players. You change the coach. Like, come on. It's also
yeah,
silly.
like players need to change. Like we need to add quality. I think like
Some.
that's
Yeah.
obvious. Like it's very obvious, but the mindset will always be the same because we're not gonna get the
Yeah.
type of players that Allegri envisions to get. Like it's just not
Yeah.
gonna happen. We're not gonna add that sort of quality. It's not gonna happen. We need
That would be like 300 million euros we
yeah.
would
What
need to
he
spend
wants
at
is just
least.
not gonna happen. He's gonna get some Arcic. He's gonna get those type of players.
Yeah.
Maybe a Colt Miners, but like he's not gonna get Pirlo. And Vidal, when he came in, Vidal was a superstar. And Pogba, okay, that was a freak. Like that type of signing, you're probably gonna make once every I don't know 20 years, being Juve.
We got Vidal from Bayer Leverkusen, right?
Yeah, we did. But like
Yeah.
Pirlo, like Marquisio was up there already. Like that's just not gonna happen. He needs to make the new Pirlo, Vidal, like Pirlo, but like he needs to kind of
Yeah.
groom the new Vidal, the new Marquis. Like that's his job, and he made it very clear yesterday. He's not the right man. Like he said so basically. He said like with youngsters and inexperience, we're not gonna win. Like you do not expect us to win. And I'm like, even
Why are you
though
here?
I don't expect us to win, I don't want to hear that once out of the mouth of a
Yeah.
Juve coach.
Yeah.
I
Agree.
don't. And if he didn't say that, and if he didn't keep saying top four, I would have less of a problem with this season. I would, because he comes out after devastated performances and losses and whatever, and he gloats about top four. I'm like, is this Fiorentina? Like, is this Fiorentina? Am I supporting Fiorentina over here? I don't hear that. I get the reality of the club, but he makes it sound he makes it sound even worse than even I think it is, by the way. Like the way
Yeah.
he speaks about top four, he makes it sound like he is overachieving like a madman. He makes it sound like he has Bologna in the top four. That's how he makes it sound. That's where my issue is. Because he's not
Yeah.
overachieving. Like he's just not overachieving. Because finishing second or fourth, I don't care. I absolutely do not care. Oh, you will get a bad draw in the Champions League. Those rules change, like whatever. And even then, I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Because the moment I start caring about that is the moment I am gonna lower my standards. And I hope I will never do that personally.
Yeah.
That's my only issue I have. Let me see if there are any comments. I think I brought everything up. I think that's it. Um, I think we covered everything. And we're probably gonna
Yeah.
cover the same things over and over again.
Yeah. For sure.
Because yeah, and actually we're gonna play more tougher games as well. So we're definitely gonna have these conversations soon again.
And And two out of the three good games I would say that we had in the past few months were cup games. Bless you.
That's so
They were
good.
cup games where they just, the Allegri didn't care. And now we will not play like that in the cup, because now it's getting real. And now he's gonna play like we played against whatever Inter.
Remember when we won the
So
Coppa Italia? I remember that very well, and I was happy. I was over the moon. I was like, this is good, but I was like, calm down, calm
yeah,
down. Remember when I had like 1 week, I was saying everybody was, oh, Miretti, and I was like, we still need signings, and then boom,
yeah,
the next couple of weeks happened, and I'm like, yeah, like I tried to warn everybody, about those cup games, but hey, people are so result orientated and points and whatever and all those things, and just they just lie to what they actually see on the pitch. And yes, oh, you
yeah.
don't call out players. Well, I do. Not all of them. Like I've said it. Like I like Miretti. I still think he'll become a good player. Is he ready? Well, obviously not. I think that's clear. If he goes out on
Not
loan,
under Allegri for sure.
I'm not gonna cry if he goes out on loan. Like I don't.
Yeah,
Oh, Vlahovic not having a consistent season. I agree. Like I agree. He's having a good period now, but I agree with all those things. I said Chiesa was not having a great season. Like people do not listen at all. However, for 3 years now, there's one consistent, and that I cannot act like it's not the case. I just can't. No matter who the players are,
yeah.
there's one consistent issue, or like one consistent returning team that we need to discuss, and it has nothing to do with stats or maybe, but just the eye test, just a simple eye test, basic, very basic, because nobody can sit there and be like, "This is the way forward." When you watch what we watch, forget about the points.
Yeah.
Like just look at it. It's not the way forward. Just let's keep it
Yeah,
real.
two, three quality players will not change this team under Allegri, but a new coach would for sure change everything around. Like that's what it is.
But yeah, uh, we're gonna wrap it up because I talked way too much. And actually, I want to come on and say, you know what, it's all on the players. But like you said, you cannot change 23 players. That's just not gonna happen
Yeah,
ever at any sport. Not even in basket, excuse me. Not even there. And there you have like I don't know, 8 players, 10 players in the squad. I'm not sure. I don't watch that sport.
12. I think 12.
Yeah, not even there. So it's always the coach at the end of the day because that's the easy one. You
Yeah,
can replace a coach and maybe a couple of players, but you cannot replace 10 players. That's not gonna happen.
yeah.
That's just the reality. If you like it or you don't like it, that's what it is. But we're gonna wrap it up because we talked about it way too much. I will be live again tomorrow with a guest, by the way. Same hour. Not sure what the topic is gonna be, but I think something will come out to discuss. Um, I'm out on Thursday. I will do the preview on Friday and then Saturday. Not looking forward to the game. I'm not gonna lie because for me it's like I'm watching because we watch the club, but I'm not sure what I'm watching for basically. But we
Verona away. It's not easy for
no,
us.
no, it's not gonna. I don't think we're gonna win. But like just going into games, like there's no purpose. It's like, oh, we need to
Mm.
build on to the Copa semi-final. It's nothing. Like this is who we are. Like if we're gonna win it, it's gonna be an ugly win. Like I need to win it, by the way.
Yeah.
But we're gonna win it in an ugly way if we win it. But yeah, we're gonna do that. Talk about Serie A. All the rules change. We can do that. We can do that. But like I said, I'm gonna start a new show with Anthony. We're still working on it, but those topics will come um, in handy because I want to move like not now. Like even if we're good, I want to move on with the channel a little bit. Do more football stuff rather than just Juve, but not going too into extreme. But we're gonna do that in those type of shows. Because next season we're in Europe and there's gonna be more games, so I'm gonna have less time, I guess, to do these type of things. But we're gonna, what it is. Also, I'm not gonna lie, and this is weird. I watch less football compared to when we were extremely good, which makes no sense because you would suggest I watch more football to enjoy the game, but I don't. When I watch Juve,
Yeah,
I'm just done. I'm like, I have enough. Like I'm not gonna keep watching football all over the weekend. Enough full games. That's also like I watch part of games. I would just have it on the background and I watch 5 minutes here and
yeah,
there because I'm like the joy is out of it. Like when I watch
yeah,
Juve, I'm like I'm done.
yeah. It's making me sad that we are not good, and then the whole mood. I just, yeah, me too. I just watch my Hungarian team, and that's it. I don't watch. I didn't watch Champions League. I will not watch Champions League probably tomorrow. So
I had it on in the background, but I didn't really focus on like the second half. I missed everything basically. I just had the sound down. I was not really focusing. But yeah, now we're really gonna wrap it up. Like the video if you haven't. Like it if you're rewatching as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I will be back live tomorrow or today. It's already today. Norbert, thanks for joining during these depressing time. It feels back like old school Bianconeri zone last season. Like it's almost at
yeah,
we're almost peaking
we're
again.
back.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're almost back. Like the thumbnails are getting worse. They're not gonna get any better anytime soon. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and